Welcome to the Get Fit with Me. Oh, I went back way too far. Welcome to the For Busy Moms Fitness, Nutrition, Mindset, and Accountability Group. It's so funny because it was a little over a year ago. This group used to be called the Get Fit with Me, Expanding Your Physical, Mental, and nutritional something. It's funny because there used to be a different name to this group, and I was actually just looking back, doing some reflection, and that's why that popped into my head. So, for those of you who have been here a while or who are new, who is this group for? This group is for busy moms who are looking to expand and put time aside for their fitness, their nutrition, their mindset, staying accountable to things that they feel like is just being dropped. We also in this group, I am here to help you feel more confident, to feel stronger, to have more energy, all while learning simple habits and changes that allow you to reach your goals without having to give up the wine and cheese, the beer and pizza, or whatever your little vice may be. So, normally at this point, I go in and I let you know how to get the most out of these calls. Well, before I do that, I want to first acknowledge that I am moving right now. And reason being is I have combined our move and learn workshops that we did about a year ago in with today's training. So if you are tuning in, whether you are watching live or you're watching the replay, put those headphones in and then get those shoes on and go out and take a walk, jump on that bike, jump on the elliptical, walk around the office. I want you to move for the duration of this training. So it's not going to be more than 30 minutes. It's probably going to be closer to that 15, 20-minute mark. So it's really not that long. And there is a point to me combining these today, but we'll get to that a little bit later on. So now to get into the normal spiel that I do. In this group, there's three main ways to get the most out of these calls. Number one is by joining us live on Zoom. Click that little Zoom link above my head right there in Facebook if you're tuning in there. I want you to jump in there and jump into this room. Every single week I go live at noon Eastern Central Time, Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays. Reason being is I do this in Zoom and not just through Facebook, is I want you to have the opportunity to jump on, ask questions, get real-time feedback, things like that. And if I just go Facebook Live, all you're there is being in the comments, which is great. But I want you to have that connection. I want to meet you. I want to be able to put a face to a profile picture to a voice. I want to be able to make all those connections. So that's the best way to get the most out of these calls. The second best way to get the most out of these calls is just watching live on Facebook right now. And if you're there watching live, drop hashtag live in the comments below. Let me know you are there and I will follow along. I've got a second screen, so I'm watching those comments come in. Hey, Kelly, I see you from Lansing, Michigan. Let me know you're there. Hashtag live, who you are, and where you're from. And that third and final way to get the most out of these calls is by setting aside time just to watch or listen and actually participate in those replays. And we offer a replay in multitude of ways. Here in the Facebook group, where you may be seeing me live right now, but you're thinking, oh, I just can't sit and watch this right now. I need to come back to it. So you can either come back into Facebook and it will be pinned to the announcement section or the featured section inside the group. And the second best way is going to be on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. All these trainings get popped up in there every single day or every single week. I'm just so excited. I haven't got to use my treadmill. I got to be on with you guys in a long time. So I'm a little disoriented. So YouTube or here, either way, when you are watching the replay, drop hashtag replay. Same thing. Let us know who you are and where you're from. I do have an additional question for you guys today before we get into the fun stuff and why I am moving, why we're having this training, is I want to know, what is your time of day where you hit that, oh, I'm hitting that lull. I know yesterday I made a post and I said for me it's between that 2 and 3 o'clock mark. I would love to know, and I have you drop in the comments, what is that mark for you? Maybe that's a mid-morning mark. Maybe it's mid-afternoon. I would love to know what time frame it is for you specifically, because we are all different. We all have different routines. We all have different things that we do throughout the day. So I just like to know when everybody else's lull is. So into today's training, we are going to be talking about how you can add an energy boost in that midday lull or in that mid-morning lull or whenever that lull is for you, where we just feel drained. We feel completely unenergized. We feel like, oh my goodness, I don't want to do anything else. My mind's not right. I'm tired. I should just take a nap, or "Oh, I need to go get a few more shots of espresso," whatever that looks like. So, what I want you guys to think about is when that time of the day is that you've dropped in the comments, and think about, what do you currently do? When you hit that low, what do you do? Do you grab coffee or caffeine? Do you take a quick power nap? Do you just end up snacking the whole afternoon to keep yourself awake? Maybe chocolate's that vice that gets pulled out of the office drawer. What are you currently doing during that lull time? So if you have something you currently do, put it in the comments, let me know, because we all do something different. And the most common ways that people tend to get through and push through this point in the day, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, whatever that is caffeine of some sort, power naps, snacks, and chocolate. Those were the most common that showed up. They are the most common when I've talked to my current clients of what they do to get through that midday. And I'm going to be honest, my espresso machine upstairs is sometimes the thing I use when I am having that lull. But that's not the only way to re-energize yourself. And today I'm going to be sharing a few different ways for you to re-energize yourself. And the second reason why I have you moving is not just because we've combined that Move and Learn workshop with this training, is because one of the ways to re-energize yourself midday is to literally get up and to move your body. Move your body. It does not have to be this, I have to go work out. It does not have to be, I have to be panting or sweating or any of that. No, it's literally moving your body. So if you are in a spot that has a big office space, maybe you just do a few laps around the office, get the blood flowing. Maybe you're going to do some stretching. Maybe you're going to actually take a walk outside and get some vitamin D. Maybe it's a treadmill. Whatever that type of movement looks like, movement is going to be that thing. And I can guarantee that if you have put in your earbuds and you are following along listening to this replay while you're moving, by the end of this training, you are going to feel much better than you did at the beginning because you are moving your body. So that is why I've encouraged you to put on your shoes, get moving, and move along with me today. So what are some other things that we do to re-energize ourselves? And each of these, we all have our own unique touch on all of these. I already mentioned the most common, but some of the other things that I use are drinking water. One of the things is I will go to either normal water. So if I'm still trying to hit my water goal for the day and I haven't reached it, I may kind of think back to when was the last time I had some water. Oh, I probably need some water. I'm feeling a little dehydrated. Or maybe I just need to have a little seltzer water. And for me, that's we've got a ginger lime upstairs right now, and it's delicious. And I put it in a nice glass. I don't just drink it out of the can. And it's that nice little bubbly pick-me-up. So another way to energize yourself is to drink some water, maybe find a nice calm, delicious drink that doesn't have caffeine in it. That, because if we have caffeine too late in the day, we're going to get that immediate response of, I feel great. But then most likely we're looking back at our sleep habits. We're not sleeping all night long because of that later in the evening caffeine. The other thing that we can do, and I like to do this is sometimes when I'm feeling more in a funk rather than a lull, but I think it all kind of goes to same because it really energizes me no matter what mood I'm in, is I put on some of my favorite songs, put in my headphones, and I just dance around. So it combines your movement with some upbeat things that you are excited to listen to. Maybe it's a motivational podcast. Maybe it's calling a girlfriend and chatting for a little bit to just kind of get that conversation going, because we're stuck in front of that computer, or we're stuck in the, gotta go do another little laundry. I gotta go do that other thing. Like, when we get stuck in there, it's important that we change up what we are doing, that we give ourselves energy, and it can be made by drinking water, by listening to your favorite upbeat music and dancing around, having that mini dance party. Another big thing is just incorporating a mini circuit. Mini circuit is you take 3 or 4 exercises max. And for instance, you do a squat, a jumping jack. Let's do squat, jumping jack, calf raises, and counter push-ups. Do 10 of everything, repeat 3 times through. That is a quick little mini circuit. You need no weight, no nothing. You are just using your body weight. Gets the body moving, get the muscles all ready to be like, there's blood flowing through here. So the other little thing that you can do is really take a look back at What did you just have for lunch? Or what did you just have for breakfast? Or what have you not had? Two of the main reasons that I find that people hit that low is one, they either have overconsumed in carbs and not enough proteins and fats to keep their blood sugar level for the remainder of the day. So, which means is we get that big spike and we're like, yeah, I'm good to go. And then 30 to 40 minutes later, when our body's processed it, we go into I could use a nap. I could just go lay down right now. I have no energy because our blood sugar has crashed. So, really focusing on and making sure that we have a really balanced lunch or a really balanced breakfast, wherever that lull hits for you. Maybe it's evening time. So, looking at that dinner, are you making sure that you put protein on your plate first? Are you prioritizing that protein? Do you have at least a deck size, a card deck size of protein at every single meal? Do we have a vegetable? Do we even need a starchy carb? Do we feel like we need that right now? I am a girl that loves starchy carbs, but I know that lunchtime is not the time that I can have starchy carbs. That's when I need to focus more on my protein, my fruits, and my vegetables. Because if I have too much starchy carbs like pasta at lunch, no matter how much movement, how much caffeine, I am done for it. So really thinking through of what are your meals looking like? Because how we fuel ourselves also has an effect on what our energy levels are going to look like. Same thing goes for if you do not eat. If you are someone who you hit that mid-morning lull and you are fasting and you don't eat till noon, well, the reason you're hitting that lull in the morning is because you're giving yourself caffeine, you're giving yourself the caffeine boost. Once that wears off, your body's got nothing else to eat through. It has no energy, no substance in your body. So it's really important that you have food that is going to fuel you. Or maybe you are someone who eats breakfast, but you eat something, for instance, like cereal, cereal or a donut. Those are the easiest ones for me to come up with. That you've got you've got your grains, but there's a little bit more sugar in those, which means we're going to have that spike and that crash, and then we're going to not feel full. So it's going back to making sure that we have balanced meals. But I know we can't always focus on that because maybe you're in the car right now and you're listening and you're thinking, crap, I just had something that wasn't balanced. I can already feel that lull coming on. Now what? Well, if you're in the car, if you are not driving, then you can stretch. Take your right ear to your right shoulder. Do a little stretch while you're in place. If next time you stop for gas, get out and walk around. Life looks differently for all of us during these lulls, and sometimes we just have to suck it up and push through. Other times we really struggle with just getting forward because it puts such a mental block on us. So, really making sure that we are fueling our body correctly. We have multiple ways to increase our energy. Do we have water? Do we have a playlist we love? Do we have a girlfriend that we can call and say, hey, I just need some energy right now? You want to kind of talk and get through some stuff? Maybe it's a dance party. Maybe it's a mini circuit. Maybe it's just moving right here as we are. We've been going for about 13 minutes right now. How are you feeling? You feeling good? You saw my energy when I came on, and you've probably seen my energy as this call continues. And what happens for me, when a lot of other people, probably the majority of people, is that once we are moving, the whole thought of actually doing it is what gets us stuck. The whole thought of me telling you to put in your headphones, tie your shoes, and get outside, you're thinking, oh, so much work. That's not going to give me the outcome that I'm looking for. That's not true. We have to get through that first barrier. So if you got through that first barrier of putting on your shoes, putting in those headphones, listening, and saying, okay, and now let's say that took you 3 minutes. So now you've been walking for 10 minutes. How do you feel now compared to when you started? Do you feel the endorphins hitting you? Do you feel the excitement? Does your body feel back into sleep mode? So for me, it's walking, biking. It's an active dynamic stretching series. Things like that to me really help move me forward. So I really want you to make sure that the one thing you take away from today's call, technically two, the two that stand out to me as being the best ways to re-energize yourself is movement. It can be as little as 5 minutes. It can be 15, it can be a whole 30. I like to go for about 15 minutes and I really try to get away from my screen. So even if I'm here on the treadmill, normally when I'm not on Zoom with you, I try to put my screens on sleep mode, put in my headphones, and I'll walk for 15 minutes if the weather's crummy. Or if the weather's nice, it's sunny out today, I'll put in my headphones, put my phone in my pocket, and get outside. Things like that. 15 minutes I find is optimal for myself. Maybe 5 minutes is all you need. Maybe you need more like 20. Whatever that looks like, I highly recommend that being your first source before you go into that caffeine, before you go into that quick little nap, before you go grab that snack or those chocolates that you're just going to keep snacking at for the next couple hours. The other thing that I really want you to focus on is what are your meals looking like right before you hit this lull? And sometimes that lull hits because there's too long of a gap in between eating. And if you would have just had a snack 30 minutes earlier, you may not have this lull. So I really want you to focus on your diet as well. Are you having balanced meals? Are you prioritizing your protein? Are you keeping that blood sugar level? Because if you are able to keep your blood sugar level, those lulls will not happen because we're not going to have those crashes. If you are unsure of, if you're like, I don't know, do I need to eat sooner? I do food log audits all the time. So if you would like a food log audit to see when you should probably be eating to get that lull to go away or how we could change your diet a little bit, completely free. Just drop food in the comments below and I'll reach out. I'll tell you what to do and then I'll give you some advice on how we can shift that just a little bit. So as we wrap up here, there are just a few little things that I always hear that I like to address is the what ifs. What if I don't have time for a 15-minute walk? Okay, can you do 5 minutes? Nope, I can't do five. Okay, what's something else we can do on the list? Can we try some water? Can we try to jump around in place, do a few jumping jacks? Can we do a mini circuit that takes just a few minutes? Can we make sure that we have some good music on to give our brain and our body excitement? So thinking through that list, just because that 15-minute walk is what I recommend and what I find is optimal and what my clients find is optimal, doesn't mean that that's the only option. That's why I've given you multiple options here today. The other what if I hear is, Morgan, the weather sucks and I don't have any indoor equipment. Then what? That's fine. I just gave you a few more examples. Jumping jacks, mini circuits. I've got a whole mini circuit book that in that mini circuit book, it gives you the 4 exercises, your reps, and how many times you go through it. Super quick and simple, giving you all those ideas. And then that third what if I hear is none of that stuff has worked in the past for me. Why would I try it again? Well, that's where I ask a few more deeper questions. And I highly recommend you answer these questions out loud for yourself. If you are the what if of, I've tried that, none of that works. That's why I always go to the caffeine in the afternoon is when you tried them last time, did you try it just once or did you try it for a few days to really see, was it really not working or did we just not give it a chance? Ask yourself what really didn't work about it. Why didn't you get the effect? Did you go out thinking you were going to be able to do one thing and something else happened? And then the other question is, what does work for you? So there's probably things that I did not talk about today that give you energy that work for you. If you have things that work for you, continue doing them. But the reason that I addressed the caffeine, the naps, the snacks, and the chocolate is caffeine late in the day is going to affect our sleep. The snacks and the chocolate, if that is a everyday continuous thing, what that's going to do is it's going to have us consume more calories than we are anticipating. And then when we wonder why we've gained weight or we haven't seen losses where we want, it's probably because we are mindlessly consuming things to keep ourselves awake and to give ourselves energy, where we can make some shifts. And then finally with the naps, power naps are great. I love a good power nap. But if we are not sure how naps in our REM cycles work, we can end up taking a longer nap than we're supposed to, and we wake up actually feeling more tired and lethargic than when we started. So caffeine, naps, chocolate, and snacks, they're not bad ways to increase our energy. I'm not saying that they're like, shame, you should not do them, but there are better ways to increase your energy and to give you that midday pick-me-up that you've been looking for. And we're coming up on minute 19 now, and we are going to be wrapping here shortly, is how are you feeling? Do you have energy? How's the body feeling? Do you feel like you can go into the remainder of your day and conquer it? Maybe it's that big to-do list. Maybe you've been dreading putting off the doctor, calling the doctor's office because you're like, oh, I just am too tired to kind of have that conversation and be on hold. Okay, now you have the energy. Go do the things that you've least wanted to do now that you have this next burst of energy. When that next burst kind of wears off, go take another lap, go take another walk. This is something that you can never do too much of. So, on that note, I would love to hear from you. Which one of these kind of stood out to you as being the most insightful? What are you going to implement? And as we move into the next couple weeks here, you are going to see the Commit to Your Health program being launched, having conversations, seeing people sign up. We've got limited spots this year. I'm super excited. I've completely revamped. We've got a few new things coming up in the works. And if you want to learn about the Commit to Your Health program, where I help keep you accountable all holiday season, from Thanksgiving to New Year's, I am here for you. Just drop commit in the comments below and I will get you all the details. We focus on how to re-energize ourselves, how to keep that motivation going when things feel overwhelming, stressful, when we don't want to gain that weight, when we want to still enjoy the holiday foods and goodies. So have a great rest of your day and I will see you all next time.